You know what really grinds my gears is when CG releases a ship like the Punishing One, a marquee that's ridiculously powerful and elevates a fleet from being sort of third in the meta, as it should be, to being top of the meta for no good flipping reason. Now, I would have no problem with the Punishing One if it was a legendary unlock, but it's not. So let's talk about some counters, specifically some counters to the Houndstooth starting setup. Let's check it out. Now, in particular, I'm talking about this setup here. The starting lineup is going to be Razor Crest with Houndstooth, Punishing One, and on the bench, Slave One, Xanadu Blood, IG2K. Really, these two are the only one that matters. If you want to check out counters for without Houndstooth starting the triple attacker, we can do a video on that later. But right now, I'm going to go over two counters that I've used to counter this particular setup, just because I thought, why not? Why not? So the first counter, we're going to be using the Executrix. Since CG has finally fixed the Scythe and its ability to place mark on TIE Fighter allies under the Executrix, this fleet now has relevance again, and this is probably the best counter to this particular setup, or at least the best banner efficient counter. Let's check out the footage. Now, the only thing that we really need to have happen at the start is that, one, your TIE Fighter pilot goes first, uses that special, and as you can see, booyah, we have that mark available. Also puts foresight on the character, which, when they evade, they're going to give our capital ship a little bit of turn meter. This is the first setup. The second thing that needs to happen is they need to mass assist and kill this TIE Fighter pilot, okay? Killing the TIE Fighter pilot gives us space to reinforce. So don't use this against low star punishing ones. This one's actually a 6-star one. So let's see what happens. We're just going to do a basic. I've chosen to do it on Houndstooth because I want to have that target lock on there. Not entirely necessary, but I like to do it. If you are more concerned that your punishing one or the enemy's punishing one is going to be a little bit harder to chew through, do the basic on the punishing one, okay? First reinforcement is going to be TIE Defender. We bring in the TIE Defender and we want to go ahead and get that stun on Houndstooth. So second special, or the first special, sorry, will always guarantee stun even if the attack gets evaded, thanks to the reinforcement bonus of the TIE Defender. Next up, we're just going to use those specials, try to get that foresight up, and then strip all of the buffs using Scythe's first special. You can see all the stacks of formation that we've gotten here, not loads, but enough to do a little bit of extra damage. The Razor Crest will then go after your Scythe because the Scythe has more target priority than myself on a night out having drinks, and we're going to start hammering away at the enemy's Houndstooth. Now we can try and strip, but because we have so much breach on the team, it's just going to reapply. So keep focusing on the Houndstooth. If we get buff immunity, great. It will really help us kill the enemy Houndstooth. Now when it gets back round to the Scythe's turn, you're going to use that first special on himself to heal up the Scythe. You want that Scythe surviving. So heal up your Scythe with the first special when you get the chance, and hopefully do a bit more damage to the Houndstooth. Some people might be able to defeat the Houndstooth before Slave 1 reinforces, but it's not exactly guaranteed. So let's just go ahead. I think I checked the turn order here, but I decide ultimately, let's just get rid of the Houndstooth entirely. Now we're going to eat a couple of counterattacks here from the Slave 1, and this really does suck, to be honest. This is the dirtiest part of the counter, but if you get some dodges from things like the TIE Defender, all the better for you because it gives you additional ship turn meter. So some more dodges here, wonderful. And then I think we actually just straight out take out this Slave 1, wonderful. And then a stun on the Punishing One. If you get to this point, you can pretty much lock in that win, right? The enemy has lost Slave 1, it's lost Houndstooth, and the Punishing One is now stunned. So the only thing that's really going to end this early is if they manage to go ahead and get their ultimate off. But they haven't really had the opportunity to put enough target lock and breach out. So just focus down on the Punishing One. It did get fully healed, which is a bit of a shame. We'll use that first special, gain a little bit of turn meter, gain a little bit of buffs, and just hammer away at that Punishing One and hopefully defeat it. Nice and easy, nice and easy. Once again, we want to try and keep our ships alive. I decided to heal up the TIE Defender in this instance. You could choose to use it on the Scythe to keep it alive, and I don't think we managed to defeat the Razor Crest in time before Xanadu Blood comes out. A little bit unfortunate, but we do get some dodges. They kill another one of the summoned units, and I think I decide to call in the TIE Interceptor here just to get rid of the Retribution, get rid of those buffs that exist on the enemy team. Taking out the Razor Crest then, and then just finishing off by taking out the Xanadu Blood is the plan here. You could do either one at this point, truth be told, but it should be a pretty safe cleanup from here, even if you do not happen to fully clear the team. But I thought overall, this went pretty well. You know, we only really lost one unit. It was very clear there that we were going to beat that Xanadu Blood probably on the next hit from TIE Defender because he does so much damage. The more relic levels you have invested in your Iden, and provided you give her like 6E modding at the very least, the better this will perform. So investing in those characters is highly recommended. The second team that I'm going to show you is a little bit different. This is a Profundity starting lineup, and you're actually using the Mark 6 Interceptor on the starting lineup. Now this is useful for a number of reasons. Partly because it has a really high targeting priority, but also if you are a character or a person, that has got Leviathan unlocked, you don't actually need the Mark 6 Interceptor. I know that sounds kind of weird and kind of wild, but there are comps you can set on defense for the Leviathan that perform very, very well that don't use the Mark 6 Interceptor, and using it on this team actually allows us to survive the opening barrage from the enemy's team, okay? So apart from that, Outrider, Hans Millennium Falcon, I decided to play it safe and take in Phantom 2, Ghost, the Rebel Y-Wing, and Ebon Hawk. The only reinforcement I used in this video I'm about to show you is the Ebon Hawk. So if you want to risk it for higher banners, just take in the Ebon Hawk as a reinforcement, but I feel this is much safer. Let's see the footage. Okay, so the battle just begins now, and what you want to use is the first special from Profundity, okay? Targeting your Outrider on the enemy's punishing one. The reason we're doing this is we want to front load that damage on the enemy's punishing one, and you want to be able to land the ability block. Now, obviously this is a little bit of RNG here, but what I do find quite useful is that when you only have one other rebel, you're going to call in Hans Millennium Falcon to assist instead of the Interceptor because it's not a rebel. Okay, after that, we are going to be using Concealed Concussion, the first special from Outrider, once again, targeting that punishing one. Put as much damage as you possibly can into that unit. And again, because we are using only Hans Millennium Falcon, it's the one that's going to be called to assist. Alright, so we take it out very, very quickly, very, very early, and you want your first reinforcement to be Ebon Hawk. Ebon Hawk is very useful as a reinforcement because it does pass chaff out to your whole team, and chaff will stop the enemy from ability blocking you and getting, target locking you and stopping the enemy from getting to ult. You want to use a basic from Houndstooth to get rid of the buffs from Slave 1, and then just focus in on the enemy's Houndstooth, or the Slave 1 really. Passing the turn over here straight over to the Outrider, and I recommend using that second special to try and boost your ultimate. Right now, your primary focus is beat the Executor to the ultimate, okay? And that second special charges it by 10%. After that, I'm just focusing in on this Houndstooth right now, getting rid of those debuffs on this team, and we've already hit ultimate there. So I'm using the supercomputer bonus over there on Outrider, and then booyah, we take away the enemy's capital ship. All we've really done is lost one ship, which is the Interceptor. Once the enemy doesn't have a capital ship, it's only got Houndstooth and Razor Crest, you know that this is a win locked in. Not a problem at all. I don't think I actually finish off this battle because it's clear to see at this point that you're not going to lose this. We still have 2 additional reinforcements on the bench. 3 additional reinforcements on the bench, and the enemy has no capital ship and just a Razor Crest right at the end. So there we go. Easy dubs. And that's gonna about do it for today's video, ladies and gentlemen. Make sure you let me know in the comment section down below, what counters do you use to this? Do you go ahead with the Galactic Republic fleets, maybe the Negotiator or the Endurance, or do you just like to go in and mirror match them, or do you even like to go and use Leviathan? I'd like to know your strats, your techniques, just so we can share it wider with the class. Make sure you do like this video and comment so you don't miss a thing, and I'll see you in the very next video. Peace out, and may the Force be with you.